On August 3, 1804, nearly 80 years before Templeton's founding, Captains Meriwether Lewis and William Clark met the Oto Sioux Indian tribe near what would become Council Bluffs, Iowa. The explorers offered the tribe's chiefs gifts, including medals bearing the image of President Thomas Jefferson himself. Unimpressed, the Otos were blunt about what they really wanted: gunpowder and whiskey. Thus began the history of whiskey and alcohol in western Iowa. For the next 125 years, that history would pit anti-prohibition wets, brewers, saloon keepers, and German Catholics against pro-prohibition Drys. Iowa's Drys included various groups: the Woman's Christian Temperance Union, along with founding president Iowan Annie Wittenmeyer; the Methodist Church, including Minister George Haddock, who preached against Sioux City's saloons and breweries until he was silenced by an assassin's bullet; and less savory groups, such as the anti-immigrant Know-Nothings, who believed German and Irish immigrant votes could be bought with a stein of beer or a bottle of whiskey; and later, the Ku Klux Klan, which burned crosses from Dubuque to Cherokee to promote prohibition and scare immigrants and bootleggers. Above all, the Drys had the law. In 1882, prohibition was put to a statewide vote and passed easily. But Carroll County voters voted no. So for the next 50 years, they just ignored the Dry laws. Carroll, the county's seat, became a bootlegging hotbed. Bootleggers built saloons on skids, sliding them around town every night to stay ahead of the law. When Manning in southern Carroll County was founded, hopes ran high it would live up to its namesake, an Iowa prohibition leader. Instead, by the turn of the century, Manning's biggest claim to fame was the largest bar west of the Mississippi. Templeton, just east of Manning, managed to support 4 saloons during the era. Even so, Templeton's city council eventually enacted its own version of a prohibition law, an ordinance forbidding saloons from serving minors, alcoholics, and Native Americans. Decades of non-enforcement of prohibition laws led the Iowa legislature to finally crack down. On January 1, 1916, 4 years before the 18th Amendment, strict statewide prohibition went into effect in Iowa. But prohibition advocates in Iowa and nationwide weren't satisfied. They wanted a federal constitutional prohibition amendment. At first, that seemed a pipe dream. Then came the war.